there's two parts. There's the financing for customers.
Right.
So lots of people use Afterpay or Klarna in Europe or Affirm.
Affirm, yeah. I think it's Shopify Pay Installments is the official name.
Yeah, so with Shop Pay, now it's built in that they have basically pay in installments versus using Affirm or Afterpay, which that's tough for those companies. I mean, now it's just built into Shopify. A lot of people use the third-party app for that, but now if it's just built in, you don't need Affirm anymore. You don't need Afterpay if Shopify just handles that for you. I don't know what's going to happen with those companies. Obviously, there's more platforms than just Shopify. But if they just lose all their Shopify merchants now, that's going to be pretty
obviously
rough.
I think my my first thought with that was that just that applies to people that have like bigger ticket items.
That's the thing. Initially, the old school, like even in retail, it's like, yeah, obviously if you go buy furniture or a TV or something like that, that's more expensive. Obviously, a lot of people want to pay in payments. But now it doesn't make a difference really for these companies if it's in installments for a $500 product or a $40 product. And even if it sounds kind of crazy, like, oh, you're going to get 4 months of payments on a $40 product. But a lot of people do it. And I've seen data that shows even on low ticket items, $30, $40, $50 products, when they offer like Afterpay and people can pay in installments,
right? And sometimes they
have a boost in conversion rate. And it's like, it's just an option to throw in there.
And sometimes they have this first 6 months free financing stuff, and then, you don't pay, they charge you the whole thing at once. But it's another option. It's just another hook to make you actually
it's just
make
another
that
feature.
decision.
But it's a feature that used to be an app that's now built in. So we'll see what happens with all those companies.
And then the famous balance debit card that they have too. Yeah. So now that works with your merchant profits, or is it just like a debit card? I thought I read somewhere that debit card is actually, you cannot add money to it, that it works with your the proceeds from your sales. Is that something that you
I don't know. Is that true?
That's what I read originally, that you cannot just add money to your debit card to have more debit or more credit.
I'm not sure. I just know they launched a checking account, and basically they said you get a card, has cash back, your typical stuff when you see. But basically it's a business checking account by Shopify, and they said we're gonna give a suite of tools that most small businesses don't have access to.
And they said no minimum fees, no minimum balances, and all that stuff, and no fees or nothing. But I think I read something that you cannot add money to it, but you feed it with money from your sales.
Okay.
And basically you have a balance based on your sales, and you can just keep it there for other expenses.
Might be useful.
So So anything else that from the?
Yeah, there were smaller things. One cool thing was they now offer local delivery.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Basically, they built in a technology so that people can do local delivery. So if you have customers, you can go into your shipping settings, and if you want to offer local delivery, if you say you can set it for like a 15-mile radius of your zip code or something like that, and then if people who check out within 15 miles of your zip code, obviously it depends where you live. If you live in like New York, where you have a lot of people, it's very dense, you could have a lot of customers in that area. And then what it'll do is if you have, let's say, like 5 orders that day in your local area, then it'll set a route automatically, the most efficient route on the map. And then someone can go, and you can have your delivery driver go and give it to all those people.
So the company delivers as a driver that does the route to deliver. Yeah. Okay.
It's almost like an Uber routing. If you've ever seen the Uber drivers app for delivering products, basically. It's pretty cool, actually.
So, but it's not based on a third-party delivery system like you're talking Uber.
No,
it's the company basically has their own delivery. Yeah, so it's good because now they have local pickup, which they added a while ago.
Pickup,
and you can just set up locations where your physical stores are, or places where you can pick up the order.
Right. Obviously, they're pushing these features forward that maybe would have come out later to right now because everybody is getting things delivered or doing curbside pickup because of the coronavirus. And so that's why they push things forward. Obviously, that doesn't apply to most e-com companies because most e-com companies don't sell their local people unless it's by chance, basically. But it depends on your business. It's just another cool feature that they added, basically.
Yeah, well, that's good. Well, also important, so far, all of these features, as far as we know for now, they're only available in the U.S. or will be soon in the U.S. And then the goal is to expand.
The delivery and pickup, I believe, is U.S. and Canada.
Okay, yeah, US and Canada, but North America for the most part. And then in other countries like European countries, they may or may not implement it right away. I mean, all the news releases and press releases say that will be soon anywhere or everywhere. Obviously, we don't know when that will happen. So obviously, we have a few customers that are in European countries, which get very excited,
tough,
and then
global is tough. It's just
yeah,
you anybody who's tried selling internationally, it's like every country has their own rules, their own tariffs, their own import taxes, and
their own delivery rules as far as
like,
shipping and all that. So
it's
rates,
complicated, man.
It's
tough.
The logistics part is very complicated.
It's tough. So that's why it's ideally, I'll sell anywhere in the world.
Even payment methods. I mean, I get questions all the time from people in Europe saying, "Hey, we use here PayPal is very common, but even each country has their own thing, like Bizum and some other places where you connect with your bank account and it's like a Apple Pay."
Oh, I know. I mean,
they have all types of payment methods, and it says, "Well, when is Shopify gonna do that? Because my customers always use that, and it's like transferring money locally and all that."
Like I understand. Like when you're trying to sell in South America or in Southeast Asia, that all these countries have different rules and stuff. But you'd think that in Europe, at least within EU countries, they'd have some type of unification. But they really don't. Selling in the UK, well, I know UK is different now, but selling in Germany versus France versus Spain versus, it's a whole messy process.
Well, you have
every time.
You have to apply for the VAT or the value-added tax number, which is their
but then even each country
consumption
has their
tax.
own import laws,
and
rules, and you have to fill these paperwork. It's just, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it's a lot of paperwork.
Global commerce, I think, when you talk about areas that still are ripe for innovation, I think global commerce is a huge one. There's so much more that needs to be done on global commerce.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to get any better now, especially with all these...
Yeah, I don't think so either.
With all this crisis and stuff, so... All right, so
the other final note that they did was on the Shopify Fulfillment Network, which they actually announced last year at Shopify Unite. It was invite-only beta, and now it's open to everyone. So any Shopify merchant can now use the Shopify Fulfillment Network.
So refresh my memory on that. How does that work? The fulfillment obviously is the...
it's very similar to Amazon FBA, if anyone's ever used that.
Right.
But basically, or any other 3PL.
But where are their warehouses? Where are their...
They have a map. But they partner with they have some warehouses that are their own, and they have some that they partner with 3PLs. Basically, if you ever use 3PL or Amazon FBA, you ship all your stuff there. They charge you.
Are their fees similar to Amazon, or they're going to be cheaper?
It depends. I've seen different fee tables. Some cases it can be cheaper. In other cases, it can be much more expensive. If you have a product, so where it seems to be much cheaper is if you have a product that people buy a lot, multiple of, instead of just buying one-offs, it's much cheaper because Amazon FBA, for example, charges per unit. So if someone orders 5 and you have a $4 per unit fee, they'll charge you $20. Shopify does per order. And so if someone orders 5 units, then you still only pay that $5 fee or whatever they charge you. So if you have a product that you sell multiple, people normally buy multiple, Shopify is actually very affordable. But if it's one-offs, it doesn't seem to be that much.
All right, so that's a lot of things for Shopify just this week, actually. So we'll definitely add a link in our show notes to all these features where you can read more if you're interested. This email, actually, you're not subscribed to it, is very informative. It's what is the subscription link?
MGREdge.com/join.
Yeah, that comes once a week on Tuesdays usually, and it's very short. I mean, you can see the whole email here. It's usually 1 or 2 stories, specifically on e-commerce, obviously, and then a few other important news, and that's all you get. So it's really a quick read if you want to be in the know of what's happening and you don't have to browse through 20 different websites to find the news. We do that for you.
I spend many hours a week reading e-com news and other people's thoughts. And I compile it in a 5-minute read.
Yeah, definitely.
Not even 5 minutes.
We curate. I say, we don't invent anything. All we do there is maybe we put a couple lines of
I normally
opinion, but,
do my own write-up, and then I have links at the bottom.
Right. So it's definitely a very... I mean, I actually... I deal with other divisions of MGR as the agency, and David is all e-commerce, and I actually read it myself. Because as you can see, he's doing most of the talking today, and when it comes to e-commerce and new trends, I'm usually catching up more than being on the forefront like he is. So, which leads me to the next topic.